Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the old MCU Crew, your favorite 1 hour show where we talk about how fast time is moving. Right, Jess Cox?
So fast. So fast. That's what I hear about time. It's the fastest when you're young. Now, I'm not sure how many of you know this, but when you're young, you actually see in more frames per second and
Go on.
realize that Tom Morello was, in fact, the villain of Iron Man 1.
I have heard this. That's
I just figured
that's
you
a
should
real
know.
life phenomenon. Yeah. I've heard about that one. Jesse, I figured being that we're here in our 21st episode, I think that we could start off today's episode not with drinking, but with you reciting your favorite lines from Iron Man 3 as spoken by the Mandarin here in Mandarin Week. So please give us your best Kings. There you go.
You have the Mandarin. This is the Mandarin's voice. I'm not sure why they decided this was the voice of the Mandarin. But for some reason, they took famed actor Ben Kingsley and made him talk like this.
It's real dumb. It's real dumb.
Tony Stark.
I
don't know. I don't know why. I don't know why they were like, all right, so the
either.
Mandarin sounds like that. The Mandarin sounds like
that's
Sounds like
right.
he's on his deathbed.
Yeah, I don't know why they did. I rewatched. So Jesse messaged us maybe was that last night or this morning? It's kind of blending together for me.
It was very late last night where I was informed myself because I hadn't seen What If yet, and I logged in to watch it last night, and alongside it was like Marvel one shot 10 rings, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
And so I watched all of it and realized it was straight up just the bonus content from Iron Man 3.
Which I never saw. Yeah, I don't know why I never saw that. So I'm glad you mentioned
it's on Disney Plus now, if that's your vibe. If you want to watch the prequel goof.
Yeah, I think it's the prequel. I mean, I wonder how they're going to handle that in the movie, right? Because he's obviously in the movie. Ben Kingsley is obviously in this week's release of Shang-Chi. And the Mandarin
is for real?
Yeah, he's in it.
Interesting.
And so I don't know if they're gonna just have that scene at the start of the movie or something.
So
or what?
For people who have not rapport.
Right. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
With Wong. Yeah. Wait, no. Was it confirmed that was Wong, or did we find out that was completely different?
He's in the movie.
It's 100% Wong.
He's in the movie.
So when they have that scene in Madripoor, it could be that is how those paths cross.
Could be.
So for people who have not seen this little thing, spoilers kind of, it's almost a nothing, truly. It exists as sort of like a fun goof. The whole premise is it's like the Mandarin, aka Ben Kingsley, aka what is Slattery? Something?
Something Slattery. God damn it, I forgot what his full name is.
He's in prison, and it's like him in prison, and it's like a big goof because he has like a secretary in prison, and all the other Travis Slattery. That's right. All the other prisoners sort of look up to him, and they're like, "Do the voice." He's like, "You have messed with the wrong." He does the whole thing, and all the prisoners sort of kiss his ass, and he's doing a documentary.
Yeah.
And it's the last day of filming of the documentary, and the guy doing the filming is talking to him, that kind of thing. And of course, the twist is the guy doing the filming is like, there are people who are mad at you. And he's like, well, of course, I'm acting my ass off right now. Ben Kingsley's amazing, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then the guy's like, you took his name. And now he's pissed off, and he's like, hey, what are you talking about? And basically the dude who is interviewing him is like an agent for the Mandarin, and he kills everyone in the room, and then he's like, don't kill me, which, by the way, there's a great bit about Travis's TV show on CBS
Yes.
that is like a Russian drama. It's hilarious.
It's something Heat. What's the name? Oh God, I forgot what the name
Oh,
of the show was.
So
It's
like
bad.
it's such a good goof. There's like a scene where he's at a bar and he's drinking with like a monkey. It is very funny. And then the goof at the end is he gets the gun and he's like you don't have the guts to shoot me, and he's like, thanks to the CBS network I've been trained to use a gun. It's so good.
Yeah.
And then then he just get captured, and it straight up is just, it's like 14 minutes long. He gets captured, and they're like, the Mandarin wants to have a word with you. And that's pretty much it. There's a post-credit scene that I won't spoil because it's worth the price of admission alone.
That one's pretty good.
It's very good, and I'm not going to spoil that.
There's two actually, but they're of the same thing. But yeah. And it's super fun. It exists out of sort of like a, one of those. It's kind of like when Marvel did that goof where it was roommates, or it was like roommates with Thor. If you remember that. Yeah.
Sort of extra DVD extra. DVDs. Does the kids still have the DVDs these days?
So.
The Blu-ray extra.
Yeah.
The VHS extra.
I think that's a thing.
The Laserdisc extra. Yeah, and it literally is just a them trying their best to be like, no, but there really is a Mandarin. We didn't poo-poo all your expectations. They even have a joke in the video where they're like, people have a lot of mean things to say about the Mandarin on the internet. And he's like, oh, I know. Have you been to the message boards? So I think they understand. So, but it's fun.
It's a good one.
Little goof. Yeah,
it'll probably tie into the movie in some form, I would think.
I would imagine, because they straight up are like, you are being captured, and if he's in the movie, I would think that he's then being held by maybe the Mandarin is just like, I want a jester. Like, I don't know. Maybe. I have no idea what role he plays. Because even he's like, the Mandarin, I don't even know who that is.
Right.
The guy's like, well, didn't you do your research? Didn't you look up who the Mandarin was? He's like, no. When actors say they do their research, they Google their name and have a wank.
Yes.
That was like the line from the thing. I was like, hilarious.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. So we'll be jumping into What If episode 3 today, which is fresh in my mind because I watched that yesterday afternoon, and then we'll get into some news as well. Also, I gotta ask, did you guys do the deed and get the tickets secured for Thursday? It's weird going to it was the first movie ticket I bought since like 2019.
Oh, you meant go see a movie?
Yeah.
I was like, I mean,
the hell else did you think I meant, Jesse?
Oh yeah.
I don't know. What do you
have to
nothing?
Delta
Nothing?
For our audience, for our beloved audience.
Mhm.
Yeah, my first movie back was Green Knight, and I watched
That's
like
right.
an
You did
afternoon
Green
matinee of it, and there was like 3 people in the movie theater, so it was like,
Yeah.
but I feel like Shang-Chi was going to be a little bit more hype.
I don't know. I bought tickets Saturday evening, I think, for a Thursday showing. Pretty early in the day. They only had one showing in the day at the theater that I'm going to, and I think there was 19 tickets sold when I purchased mine. And it was funny because it like shows you it's the type of theater where it's you choose your seats and you sit in those seats, and all of the seats were spread out, right? Like there was always 2 seats between the groups of people, no matter what. And so just to be extra safe, even though it doesn't matter whatsoever, but just so we don't have to sit next to 2 people, I bought the side seats as well, just to give a little bit extra buffer space. But we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Jesse, did you get your tickets yet?
No, I haven't bought my tickets yet.
Are you do you even need to I think you could probably just go into a theater on Thursday and get it walk.
Yeah, I'm not too stressed. I'm very curious about public reception, because critically, I think, what is it, 91% right now?
Yeah,
something like
it's
that.
done very well critically. But
for reasons that I have to assume are like douchebag reasons, it straight up is like 49% user reviews on websites right now. So it's like people just review bombing.
Yeah, that's
I'm
probably
like,
douchebag.
Why are we here? Why are we here now? Why you gotta be like this? So I don't know what that means for viewership going into it, because I imagine there's a lot of the angry nerditry will keep some people out. Fine by me. I mean, it sucks for the movie, but it makes it easier to see.
Yeah.
I'm not I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. I figured I would find a time during the day, because nighttime I imagine is a little too much. Because I guarantee it'll be packed at night, no matter what. Marvel movies at night are always packed, at least in LA. That's like a guarantee. So I'll find a daytime something.
You could just look, if you want the Marvel movie experience of a packed crowd, just go down over to Huntington Beach, Jesse, and catch it there.
No, I'm good. I don't. I want to be alive. I'm fine.
I bet you those theaters are gonna be packed to the brim. Actually, I don't know. Maybe they wouldn't. Maybe they wouldn't go because of the subject matter.
I'm not gonna. You're actually right. That may be the least crowded.
It might be no one. They'll probably be outside rioting or some shit.
Yeah,
you might be right. Could be. Yeah. Well, that comes out Thursday. We'll talk about it next Monday. Reviews very good. We talked about it last week. Jesse just mentioned it. I loved Simu Lu's tweet of him saying the Metacritic was an 89 before it bumped back over to a 90, and that his dad was still upset at him for getting an 89 Metacritic. That was a very good tweet.
That's a solid tweet.
Yeah. 10 out
very
of 10.
Good.
10 out of 10. I hope it does well. I hope it's good. We'll see. I'm curious what's going to happen without the Disney Plus buffer there. If people are actually going to wait, or if that's going to get some more butts and seats out there. Hard to say.
I feel like it will, but I don't think that. I feel like if I had to be some sort of Coxtradamus and really look ahead in the future.
That should be a YouTube series, Coxtradamus.
Where I just predict random crap, but I say it in a way that can mean anything. Great.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I am convinced that no matter what happens with this film, because of where we are with COVID stuff, it won't do as well as it could possibly do. Which means you're then going to have a large group of people on the internet who are like, see? This is what happens when you woke people try to... it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And then they're going to have numbers to back up their insanity, where they're like, look at the numbers, though. The numbers speak for themselves. Ignore the context. Only with the information. And that's going to happen, and we're all going to have to sit here and be like, oh my God.
I don't know if what the full story was. Maybe the two of you saw it, or maybe someone in the chat saw it. Wasn't there a Disney executive that said that this was a experiment for Disney?
Yes, and I think people got mad at it.
Yeah,
yes, people were they're like, Asian people are not an experiment or something like that.
Right.
I seem to recall that. Yeah.
I think even Simu was out there tweeting about it as well, saying fuck you, we're not an experiment. Which good for him, right?
The director got upset. There you go.
I think a lot of folks were upset. I don't know. I don't think it was the CEO. It was some high tier executive though at Marvel who was saying the
what
comments.
Are you an executive being dumb as shit? What?
I know.
You can say that about any company and everyone will be like, yep, that sounds right. That sounds true.
I know. It's true. It's true. I had forgotten, by the way, because time and whatnot.
Did you know that you see in less frames per second the older you get old?
No.
The older, it's crazy. It's so weird.
That Spider-Man trailer is out. We didn't talk about it.
I know.
It's been
we didn't have a chance to talk about it because we were invested.
Yeah, we didn't talk about it last week because we did our little sponsored gig.
Yeah.
Which if you didn't
Did we
watch,
really not talk about it?
It came out between the episode and Monday.
It came out Monday night.
We said on Monday tonight at that weird movie CinemaCon or whatever, they were going to release it, and then it happened like we said it was. And then we just didn't have a chance to talk about it till now.
Yeah, that's correct. How many times have you guys watched it? I did 4 on the day of. I haven't watched it since. I
watched it
cool
enough
down.
to convince myself that half of it is fake. I've like gone through and watched it so much that I was like, okay. So I'm not sure. People, I'm sure, have seen this on the internet, but the shot of Peter in that suit is the same suit that first Peter, other Peter wears in the first Spider-Man's. And everyone's just like, yo, that is Tobey Maguire, but they put Tom's face on it. Like that kind of stuff.
Maybe.
And so
that's a deep dive in the.
Oh, trust me, I'm already on the whole like, is that even the real Doctor Strange? Oh, trust me.
Yeah.
I'm like down the rabbit hole of like, I don't trust none of this movie trailer they sent us. Don't trust none of it. I'm like, it's all fake to me.
Sorry, I'm trying to literally wrangle cats here. It is an absolute mess at the household this morning.
But also, Mephisto
could be in there.
Guys,
it could
Mephisto?
He could be. It could be all some sort of imaginary Wonder World.
And more importantly, I don't want to have to break down this entire trailer scene by scene, but when Doc Ock shows up at the end, he's talking to Toby, and it's in the other reality, and that's when they both get sucked up into MCU world. Telling you, I see through the Matrix, man.
Oh, like they're fighting on the bridge, and then
yes, that's a different thing. That's like a scene from like Spider-Man 2 from back in the day. Positive of it. Positive.
Maybe.
Oh no, maybe. I see through their
this
plans,
is
man.
Cox right here. This is 100%.
Don't judge me, Bronze. I see through this.
Bronze,
when I'm proven right, you're gonna be like, oh, handsome and talented. It's true.
Bronze, how much time do we need for you to fawn over Doctor Strange in a winter onesie Wonderland?
Yeah, should we take a break? Should we get up and leave? Do you want to
Probably
take a minute?
Oh my god, I tweeted a whole thread about it.
I saw. You're about it.
So perfect. Yeah, he's so perfect. I love it.
Describe to us
him.
why. Why is he perfect in a winter coat?
He just looks so relatable. I love that he keeps the cape on.
How does he look What? Because he's
so
both
cute.
a sorcerer supreme and a dude.
Yeah. It's so
I
cute.
can't wait till someone looks at me and is like, he's so relatable, and I'm just like in a coat. That's how you know someone loves you. When they're
You just
like,
wear like a North Face jacket.
I know.
Something about Jesse just really speaks to me. So related. Once someone does that to me, I'm like, that person's in love with me. That's how you know. What you just said is crazy.
Yeah, but it's he's just I don't know. It's like the idea that he's over here.
He's so
doing his sorcerer
he's over here
supreme thing in a puffy jacket and this little sweatshirt. So cute. I could see us walking on a frosty day, hand in hand with our coffees and bagels. Oh, that's all. I'm done. He's perfect.
I wish I could live vicariously through you and be like, you know what? That Marvel character, I could see myself. Actually, that's a lie. What's her name? Blood Raven, Bloodborne.
What? The girl that we found
Bloodhammer.
out about
Elsa
last
Bloodstone?
night. Yeah, Elsa
Oh
Bloodstone.
my god!
Did you go on a
myself
research
with her?
Did you get some
There ain't a lot of walking happening. Yeah. Zero walking in a park with coffee, if you know what I'm saying.
I see. I get it.
I think,
Yeah.
I don't know, comic books are just huge fan fiction fest. So I think that's why, that's where the fawning comes from. There's just a lot of frames of comic books that do nothing other than give you that moment you're waiting for. The moment that you want in movies, you get in comic books constantly, you know?
Do they ever do like when you read a Doctor Strange comic, are there ever pages where you're just like, oh my god. Oh my, that cape, man. Oh, look how it conforms to his butt.
There's so many like just like glory shots of every character. I got okay, so back in the day there was all this controversy over a Spider-Woman cover because
where she's like
it was too sexual. Yeah.
Oh, I'm aware of it.
And
yes.
Some of the critiques I understand, but some of it I have the very controversial opinion of not agreeing with, because when you look at their bodies, none of their bodies are realistic. You know, I don't think comic books have ever strove for realism in any way, shape, or form. So I definitely don't look at the female characters' bodies and think, oh, that's not realistic for me. Because I also look at the men's bodies. I'm like, people don't look like that, you know?
That Captain America cover that everyone talks about where it's like he's like all muscle.
Oh my god, where he's very chesty.
Yes.
Yeah.
Crazy looking. Yeah.
What'd I miss?
So like even the positions, we're talking about like comic book fan service. The positions they're contorted in are ridiculous, you know? Dudes and ladies. It's never like, oh yes, this is a normal position for Dick Grayson to be in. There's a reason there's Twitter thread upon Twitter thread discussing his butt, right? Because somehow it gets accentuated in just about every frame of the comic. So I think like for me, I enjoy those moments the most from like the MCU. I enjoy those like I said, one of my favorite moments from Avengers is when Tony Stark and Bruce Banner just fangirl over each other. And one of my favorite moments from like recent comic book history is when Tony Stark and Doctor Strange have a awesome, he says, Tony Stark's like, we're awesome facial hair bros.
Yeah.
And Doctor Strange just like, and like high fives him. That type of stuff is, I think, like, so cute, so adorable, because it really highlights like how ridiculous the content we're reading is, but it adds that like little bit of relatability. I don't know, I probably am rambling, but that I think like introducing that into the movies in the form of a hoodie with like the cape on over it, to me it felt like such a comic book moment where I was like, that's so cute.
But how do you feel about the fact that Doctor Strange is messing with space-time when he promised not to mess with space-time?
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
Always be doing that shit.
I don't.
Or is it Mephisto?
Oh my god!
If it's Mephisto, I'm gonna be so upset. I'm gonna be like, "Stop!
It could be.
You finally did it, and I hate you all for this."
It was a little weird though that he was Wong was like, "Hey, don't cast that spell," and then the fucking mischievous Doctor Strange was just like, "Okay," and then he just went and cast a spell. Yeah, that was. I wonder if there is a reason for him to cast that spell apart from just like, yeah, Spider-Man, I'll help you out. Like, there's got to be something that Spider-Man leverages him with, right? He wouldn't just do that unless he's trying to show off how Sorcerer Supreme he is.
Well, I guess it doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, it could, look, in a world, it could be Mephisto, but it doesn't make a lot of sense to make that a plot element in a Spider-Man movie. You know what I mean? Like, to make like this. I don't know.
I'm sorry. Steven is a very arrogant.
That's true.
Dickhead.
Yeah, no.
I think I don't even think he's doing it to be like, what are you going to give me Peter Parker, or to flex on Peter Parker? I'm sure he's just like, there's no way I could botch the spell because I'm a fucking Sorcerer Supreme, bitch. Like, you know, I didn't think it. Some people were saying he's a Skrull, and I was like,
what?
That's so
insane.
Self-important. He never doubts his own abilities, you know? Even in the first movie when his hands get jacked up, he's just like, oh, you know, they did the best job they could. Like, no, I could have done a better job. Like, if given the option, he probably would have operated on his own hands. Like, he's just so sure of his own abilities. that I think even Wong telling him, "Hey, Doctor Strange, don't do that spell." He's probably like, "Bet I can do that spell."
Yeah,
you know,
I guess
that's what Doctor Strange. He'd
spell's
be like,
easy.
"Bet, Wong, bet."
I guess.
Yeah,
I guess
no,
the question I have.
I feel like, especially with the hoodie cape combo, puffy jacket combo, I'm sure he would be like,
I mean, like, I have some. Look, I just have questions. Like, why is it frozen over in the Sanctum?
That was
right?
a little
Like,
strange. Yeah, like I don't know if there was a hole in the ceiling or if like
seems
Doctor
there's,
Strange
but
likes
even
it cold.
that. Well, there was a hole in Infinity War. There was straight up a hole.
Isn't
but
that
Doctor
where
Strange
Hulk
literally
fell
can
through,
go
though?
like, yeah, that's where Hulk fell through.
Okay.
Like, but you figure magic can fix that. Yeah, that's weird. And the fact that he just like decides to put a coat on instead, I don't know what that means.
Mm-hmm.
There's also an interesting tidbit of like when he does this, like this is why time travel and working with time always annoys me. So the premise is like everyone forgets who Peter Parker's Spider-Man, but like what about the Avengers who were like would Doctor I have so many questions about like that plan. Seems like a terrible plan. Like one of the worst plans. And yeah, I don't know how that would work out.
Maybe that's why
it literally is.
Maybe that's why none of the Avengers help because they don't know who Spider-Man is. Maybe that's their like in canon reason for it just being Doctor Strange and Peter Parker.
So with the frozen Sanctum and stuff like that, we know that it was damaged during Infinity War, and then it sat like that for what, 5 years? 2 years? 5 years.
Be 5 years because it was Infinity War, then 5 years. Well, maybe even a little bit longer than that. Yeah, we don't know necessarily when this takes place.
Right. So, and we know this film is taking place after the blip and then after everything happens with Peter Parker. So we have to assume, based off of his clothing, that maybe the Sanctum has been sitting there in that state since then. I'm going to hazard to guess that
because he got snapped.
Doctor Strange is going through it.
Could be.
Yeah, I bet you like there's got to be something like, because even Wong seems like he's super busy. We see him leaving. We know that in Shang-Chi, he ends up somewhere else, right? He ends up in Madripoor.
Yeah.
So we have to assume that like, or at least it's my prediction that he is either preoccupied with other stuff or is going through it in some way. Even the way he says like, oh, you can dispense with the formalities, we're cool now, is such not a that's like I feel like that's one of those things from somebody that's like, I've gone through this major life change and my values have changed, or like, life is fleeting. I'm going to help this kid out. I think there might be something to that, because we were talking about on one episode of MCU Crew, we're talking about how the blip would have been like so traumatizing, and that they were kind of starting to talk about that, especially with like Thor's character and stuff like that. I don't think it's impossible that they're not going to try to delve into that a little bit more with Doctor Strange.
Could be.
Yeah. I mean, and I think he's a good way to do that.
Meditated and saw how many different futures?
A lot. 14,000.
That would have been.
Like that.
Yeah, that
million,
might
14
million.
Or 14 million, yeah.
That might cause you to recontextualize some stuff in terms of what's important, what's not important. How many times did he watch Peter Parker die? So to me, it's not completely out of character to be like, I want to help this kid.
Sure.
What is the... I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too far into it.
Bronze, what is the...
Welcome to the show, MCU Crew.
Is it one more day? One day more? One day more? What is the one where Peter... The comic, like the arc, where...
with Mary.
They erase themselves. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the reason why is because this seems very... One more day. This seems very... reminiscent of that. And so I think a lot of people are just reading too much into it because literally Mephisto is in that arc. And so people are just like reading too much into it. I agree. I think this is 100% just Doctor Strange in the MCU being like the cad. If you watch his conversations with whatever her name is, the pseudo love interest in the actual Doctor Strange movie, he's very like, that's how he acts the entire time he talks to her.
Yes.
So
yes,
I think this will be interesting to see how they do this. Rachel McAdams is who it is. Yes.
I don't know why everyone is projecting this wisdom onto him that we've never seen. Like, I think it's because in
I don't
Infinity
know if he has
War,
wisdom. He's just smart. Like, there's a difference, right?
Yeah, exactly. Which is why I feel like it's a projected wisdom. Like, I think it's because he played such a pivotal part in Infinity War. People kind of are now acting like he's the ancient one. Like, there's got to be something going on. It's got to be Mephisto because Doctor Strange would never do that. And I'm like, this is somebody that trapped himself in an infinite time loop with Dormammu and just was like, maybe this will work out. And we're going to sit here and act like this is the most wise character. Like, I feel like I don't know. Maybe my ideas of Doctor Strange are different, or maybe I'm bringing in too much comic knowledge. But to me, he 100% seems like the type of person that would cast a spell like this.
No. Here's the thing. You are totally right. And the reason why is as simple as the fact that literally the end of the first movie has an entire scene where dude's like, Strange, you play too fast and loose, and one day it's all going to come back to bite you in the ass, and I'm not going to be here for that. You suck. Peace. I'm out.
Yeah.
And one of the major characters walks away from him. Like,
and
it's part of the
movie. He'll be back in the second one. Right.
Yeah, it's like part of the movie that there's like, you are like not great at this. You don't follow the rules. And Doctor Strange's like, yeah, but I saved the world. And he's like, bro, nah, not gonna be part of it. That's like the end of the movie. That's the whole point of the end. Yeah. It's like, one day, man, it's gonna come back to get you. So I don't know. I think you're right on the money. And I think people just, very much want, because again, like I said, it seems like One More Day is sort of like the inspiration for this. But it's not a one-to-one thing, obviously, because there's no way it's like, and then Doc Ock shows up, and and then Willem Dafoe is like, hello, Peter, like it's like, although if they brought back the Butler, I'd be so happy. I don't know if any of you have seen this. I'm gonna put this out there. Yes. Go look up the Spider-Man 3 bloopers. Oh my God. My heart. It's so both cute and ridiculously funny. Spider-Man 3 bloopers. The old man who plays the Butler, he cannot remember his lines. And so he's just like,
wait, whose Butler is he? Is he Alfred Molina's Doc Ock Butler?
No, he's the Butler for Hobgoblin. Oh my God. James Franco's Butler.
Oh, for Willem Dafoe?
It's the guy who was there the entire time. All 3 movies. It's Harry Osborn's
gotcha.
Butler.
I need to rewatch those movies, I guess. It's been a long time. It is.
Well, so I don't know if you recall this, but at a certain point in the movie, when he's like at his lowest and he's like, Peter betrayed me and everything's terrible, the Butler comes in and he's like, Harry, your father was killed by his own glider. Like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
In the outtakes, it's like, Harry, a gilder killed your father. They're like, cut. He's like, Harry, your father was killed by a glilder. And they're like, cut. It's so
Is he a famous
funny.
actor or just like a random
he's
extra?
Like a guy that they got to be the Butler, so he doesn't know how to act, and he's just like an old dude. It is hilarious.
I might have to check those out.
Yeah, he's like, he's like a very old man, and so he's just like trying. He's like, Harry, the glilder killed your glider. And they're just like, cut.
Oh man. That sounds great.
It's so funny. I love, you know what? Bless that sweet man. Oh, my heart. Every time I watch it, I'm like, I love this guy.
I'll have to check this out.
Yeah.
Have you guys watched those movies recently? by the way? When was the last time you saw like the original Spider-Man?
I've
trio?
seen Spider-Man 2 recently.
Yeah.
Here's what I'll say: Spider-Man 1 is not great.
Okay.
It is like whatever. And it's made that way by the fact that it's literally just like, and trying to sing goodbye and I choke. Like, holy shit, this is when like Macy Gray was huge. And there's a whole scene with Macy Gray at a parade. It's crazy.
Man, I have forgotten those movies.
Yeah, it's like, and then Spider-Man 3 is, one of those just truly awful films. But Spider-Man 2
good
is a goddamn masterpiece.
Okay.
Spider-Man 2 from start to finish is like,
I saw I was watching
it's so good.
Or reading Twitter, and Gene Park, who works at the Washington Post, was saying that he was rewatching them, and he said it was kind of a hard rewatch because every line is just a meme these days. Did you
Yes.
I wonder, that's what I'm worried about. Like, having just played 12 minutes with Willem Dafoe in it, anytime he spoke, I thought he was going to tell us how he's something of a scientist as well, because he has the same, like, it's the exact same voice. I mean, it's Willem Dafoe's voice. He doesn't have an accent in either film.
Something of a scientist as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
The problem with the first movie is that it is very, like, in that space of early 2000s where it has the features of every comic book movie that came before it. So it's a little campy, but also is littered with post 9/11 patriotism. And so, like, everything about it is like, what? Like, you feel like you're being punched in the face with, like, America is goddamn perfect. Like, it's crazy. Thankfully, there are some really great, like, character actors in that movie. And so they really nail some of, like, the goofy side bits. Especially everyone at the newspaper is very well done. You realize, like, how many actors were in that film that were like nobodies in 2002, 2003, whenever that came out.
Yeah.
And now they're like super famous. It's very interesting to see. But the first one, yeah, I watched the first one and was like,
yeah.
And then the second one, it's crazy to believe like how good, like the second one's so good.
I'm gonna have to watch it now. You're hyping it up.
It's like a good film. The third one is like someone said the second one was amazing, and you know what would make it better? More of everything. And it is like not great.
Okay.
They picked weird villains. They were like, all right, so we need Sandman, which has never been a compelling villain ever in the history of anything. And then they're like, okay, let's cast the coolest thing at the time, Venom, the coolest thing that ever existed in Spider-Man.
I don't like this cast. I'm already upset about the casting.
And then, like, but you know what's even cooler? That 70s show, Topher Grace, at the peak of his career.
How did he land that role?
In this film.
How do you think he landed that role?
I don't think you remember that 70s show was the biggest thing, period, in this country during that time.
Was it? I never watched it, so it never seemed
it was like
to me.
It was huge, hugely popular, and Topher Grace was like a massive star. Yeah. And so like and then that killed him.
So
that killed his career.
That movie was the last, like, the Spider-Man I've most recently rewatched.
Spider-Man 3?
Yeah. Because it's like, it's one of those hate watches for me. So I watched it like right before Venom came out to like help me recontextualize that. Like,
I'm sorry, hold on. What was that? Which movie, Jesse Cox, did you watch?
Venom.
Oh, okay, I gotcha. Yeah.
Right.
Just to reassure myself that it couldn't possibly be worse than that, and I was right. Like, nothing can be worse than Spider-Man 3. Like, now that there's like fan edits and stuff like that online, have you seen like the Toby and the MCU YouTube channel? If you haven't, I highly recommend looking it up. Someone has basically CG'd Tobey Maguire into the MCU. They've just like edited it in, and it's hilarious. It's like the scene from Endgame where Captain Marvel shows up and like, "Hey, Peter Parker, you got something for me?" And it's just Tobey Maguire going, I had to beat a lady with an old stick to get this thing. Like holding the Infinity Gauntlet. Like it's just like little
I gotta check that
10-second clips that are so stupid but so hilarious. And it's just this trend that's been on like YouTube that's just Toby in the MCU. And it's like I feel like they take from Spider-Man 3 a lot because there's just so much stupid stuff in Spider-Man 3, but oh man.
Yeah, it didn't make any the flow of Spider-Man 3 is so strange where it's like, all right, we're going to tell
I've only seen it once now that I think about it. I've only seen that film once.
So imagine you spent 2 movies developing James Franco's character, where James Franco's character is now like Harry Osborn is like, Peter Parker, I'm going to get revenge and definitely become Hobgoblin. And this is happening. And it's going to be a major part of this story. And at the same time, a man turns into sand and is like wreaking havoc on the city. So now you have those 2 stories. And then also at the same time, we're going to introduce the Black Spider-Man suit.
Right.
And what a symbiote is. And then in the last 20 minutes, introduce Venom and have Venom be a major part of this story. And then have a fight with Venom and kill Venom in that 20-minute time.
Isn't
crazy.
Isn't Mary Jane dating an astronaut? Isn't that how the symbiote gets roped in?
Well, I'm not sure if you remember the Spider-Man franchise, but Peter literally is like,
Spider-Man 3.
Like the whole point is that Peter is like, Mary Jane, I can't be with you because I'm trying to protect everyone, right? Like that's this whole thing.
Right. Okay.
And he is caught up in work, and so even though he loves Mary Jane, he can't be with her, blah, 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 blah. And so she falls for the astronaut dude, and he's like, F that guy. I am going to, whatever. And I think at some point, Topher Grace, is Topher Grace trying to get with her?
Who is Topher Grace? Is he the astronaut or no?
No, he's Eddie Brock, I think.
Well, yeah, he has to be Eddie Brock because he turns into Venom.
Here's the thing.
Oh, he is Jameson's son.
No, he's Jameson's son? Topher Grace was Jameson's son? I don't remember that movie at all. Then.
Wait, no, that couldn't be the same.
Topher Grace?
How could his last name be Eddie Brock? I got to rewatch the movie. I got to rewatch the movie.
No, the astronaut is Jameson's son. Yes, okay. Chat got me confused.
Brock works for
the
astronaut
is Jameson's son. Yes.
Okay.
God, you all had me. I was like, Topher Grace is Jameson's son. I was about to be like, no. That movie sucks even worse. Oh my God. You all had me so. I looked over and was like, what?
I'll have to go watch it.
Yeah. Look, it's not great. Again. It's not a. All I remember is
the dancing, right? Like, I remember seeing that scene in theaters, and I don't know. Maybe I was it was the first time in a Marvel film where I was just like, I gotta go. Like, I need to leave right now. I can't watch. It was like the first time I experienced cringe and like had to get out of a situation from secondhand embarrassment.
I will say.
Oh, I can't believe they somehow messed up the church bell scene.
Yeah,
it's such an iconic scene.
Yeah,
I just don't know how that's proof you can mess up anything. It would be like messing up the church shootout scene from Cowboy Bebop. Like, in order to do that with such good source material, in order to mess it up, you really just gotta suck.
Yeah.
I hope they don't mess it up in this Netflix series, because it's one of those things where it's like, this is like a very iconic scene. This is hard to mess up, Like, you have to just really be clueless to not understand what makes this scene magical.
You are tempting fate right now, and I'm really worried. The more you speak about it, the more I'm like, oh no. They're gonna ruin it.
I think they can do it. I think they could do it, but because, like I said, they have a good cast.
Do you think they're gonna do it a 1-to-1 shot where he walks up and he's like, Spike, when angels fart, or whatever the hell he says.
That's 1-to-1.
Then a bird lands on his shoulder. A giant bird with a huge long neck lands on his shoulder, and it's like, ah! Right? You think they're gonna have that bird that bird land on his shoulder?
I hope not, because like it works in
love the
anime, but it
bird.
doesn't work in. That's not gonna work in live action. It's gonna look so fucking.
You think
goofy.
he's
You guys don't want the bird?
I mean, the bird can exist, but I hope it's the bird from Iron Man 2, because that would just be hilarious. That's where the bird went to.
I like.
He got
the
out of
bird.
that Hollywood lot and ended up in the next Netflix lot.
All I'm saying is the dialogue in that scene, while it's an amazing scene, when the two first meet each other, the dialogue probably in Japanese is like very cool, but in the English version, it's literally like, "What happens when angels fall from heaven?" And then Spike responds like, "It's just a bad dream I'm waking up from," or something like that. And you're like, what is this conversation these two men are having? What is happening right now? It's like, I don't know.
I think I watched it dubbed. The opposite of that.
Subbed.
Dubbed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Here's the thing.
So
The dub is the best dub I've ever seen of anything, period. It's very, very good. But it's also just, like that line of dialogue I always thought was very strange. The rest of it's great. It's just, it is clearly a throwback to earlier dialogue that they have. But in that moment,
yes,
you don't know that. So the first time they meet after all these years, he's like,
yeah,
when angels fall and fart, and he's like, I'm just in a dream I can't wake up from. And you're like, what are these two guys saying to each other? If that's the first thing you said to me after I've waited all these years, I'd be like, I will kill you. That was terrible. I will kill you right now.
I can understand that, because I guess I don't exactly remember what it was like watching it for the first time. And on every rewatch, that scene is cool with the context of knowing, like, that, you know, what is to come in the next episode.
I watched it live as it premiered in the States.
Whoa.
Every
just as old as fuck.
That was when I was in, was that college? Yeah. Freshman year of college, I think. Every time it premiered on Adult Swim, the girl I was dating at the time and I would watch it, and I loved it unabashedly. And so she was like a giant anime nerd. And let me tell you, she was like, well, if you love anime, you're gonna love this other thing. And I watched so many, let me tell you, most of it's trash.
Here's the mortal sin.
Anime, trash.
I can actually agree with you on that.
Oh God, we're not going to have the discussion. Is anime trash on the MCU?
I
don't think
anime is trash.
But like, anime is not trash. But people will recommend you shit that you're like, what does this have to do with? Like, if I'm like, I like Trigun, like I really love Trigun. Someone will be like, you should watch Sword Art Online, and you watch and you're like, yo, this is dog shit, like high key. Like, I don't understand how the fuck you recommended this to me. Like, that's the part I get confused on, is how anime fans can like have really good taste and like really bad taste. And this has been my experience universally, where like you'll be like, oh my God, I freaking love Ghost in the Shell standalone complex. And someone will be like, you should watch Baka and Test. And you're like, okay. And you watch it and you're like,
if we're going to talk about how anime is bad, you're actually thinking that people that watch anime could have a conversation and actually have good suggestions, right?
Oh my God. Well, here we are. Good night, everybody.
Look, if we're going to get into this, we're going to actually get into
Well, the problem with a lot of anime is a lot of it is like, I don't want to say experimental, but it's like, they're like, F it, we can do whatever we want, and we'll just make something that's like weird for the sake of weird, or we'll make something that's like overly cute for the sake of overly cute. Like, but the problem with anime is I'll be recommended a ton, and I'll watch a bunch of it and be like, I hated that. But then every once in a while, someone will recommend a thing to me, and I'll be like, I'm gonna hate this, and then walk out and be like, loved it. The one that was like the food wars, whatever that was.
Oh yeah, that's great.
Everyone was like, dude, you got to watch this, and I was like, this is gonna suck. This is gonna suck bad. And I left being like, when they ate that food and their clothes blew off, that was beautiful.
Here's the thing. That was beautiful. Knowing what I know about you and knowing what I know about Food Wars, of course you're going to be a huge fan of Food Wars. There's no question in my mind.
That and the one where they fought with their butts, that was good too. That's
I don't know what that
my favorite ones.
I don't.
Oh, it's this one where like it's like a sports anime, except it's where they use their butts to knock each other off platforms into water.
Kaijo? Not Kaijo.
Yeah, Kaijo. Oh my God, that was great. That was so much fun. Here's the thing. The best part about that is they played it seriously. That's my favorite part, is it was like totally ridiculous, but they played it super seriously. There was a moment where like a girl's father has come to watch her like butt bash people, and the guy's like, he's like crying in the audience, and everyone's like, just like, it is hilarious and in like the best way possible. And that I love. But when someone's like, all right, Jesse, here's the premise. This is like John, and he is a guy who fell in love with a girl in the online world. But when he meets her, that girl is actually a robot, and that robot is a cat. And that cat robot and this guy have to save the world, but if they die in the game, they die in real life. Also, they're all robots, and they don't know it. And I'm just like, I can't.
What is that the plot
Can't
to?
do this. Nothing. I made it up and you thought it was real.
Yeah.
That's how bad anime can be sometimes.
Yeah. Look, if we're going to talk about look, over the weekend, did you guys know that there is a film franchise called the Has Fallen Universe? Have you guys heard about this? Olympus has fallen, London has fallen.
Oh, yeah.
An angel has fallen. Don't watch them unless you really have nothing to do. It's got Gerard Butler as the
and isn't Morgan Freeman the president who consistently gets caught up in terrorist situations?
In the first film, Morgan Freeman is the Speaker of the House. In the second film, he's vice president. And in the third film, he's the president. He goes he gets a little bit ranked up over the films.
I would just be like, sir, maybe you shouldn't be in politics. Everyone's trying to kill you. Everyone.
Well, he's not trying. He's actually safe in the first. So also Two-Face guy, Aaron Eckhart, or however you say his name, he's the president in film 1 and 2. The plot, Jesse, I actually think you would like these films. The plot of the entire.
I've seen the first one. It literally is like, we're on lockdown, and only Gerard Butler could save us again.
Correct.
Yeah, no, I get it.
And dude, in the second movie, a member of high politics dies, and like every major
high politics,
yeah,
a member of the high political court,
yeah,
of America.
No, not of America,
the hand of the king
world.
Dies.
The world.
The world.
And then
the hand of the world
they
died.
all go to London because the prime minister of London, I think, dies.
Then London has fallen, hence. Yeah.
And then they kill literally everyone except for the American president. Like every country's leader dies. The opening of this movie. And it just
what doesn't make any sense about that is if you're like a villain, the first guy you kill is the American. Right? Like the guy that you definitely
the whole film is just this like jerking off America film where like they do a slow like there's a flag, they like take off the flagpole and it like zooms in on it slowly with like bullet holes as it falls to the ground with like dramatic music, and it hits and it goes like the fucking piano just hits all the keys. It's real dumb.
It is straight up porn for the people who are like, I bleed red, white, and blue.
Yeah,
and I'll do it to my dying. That's exactly what it is. Every single one of those. Yeah,
it's real dumb. Anyways,
but here's the thing: if they made that an anime,
it'd be great.
The president would be like, I don't know, like Morgan Sama, and he would have like a really high pitched voice, and you'd find out that he was a cat girl, and Gerard Butler. The way he defeated the enemies is he would have a transformation scene where his clothes rips off and he spins around and he becomes like a princess.
I'd watch it.
Here's the thing. Now that I talk about it, I'd watch the shit out of this.
Different anime than you, Jesse. I was just telling chat
how are we back on anime? Fuck. I tried to
somehow
steer us clear.
I watched Planted and Angel Beats back to back, and my chat was like, Bronze, are you okay? And I was like, listen, sometimes I like to watch anime and cry. Don't watch Clanted, chat.
Whoa.
Watch it because it's good, but don't watch it. You'll cry.
Whoa.
Like, people would be like, Jesse, you should watch, what was that one that was on Netflix? Beast Stars or whatever? Here's the thing. Got through 2 episodes.
The furry
and was
one?
Like, yes. And I was like, oh, so this is just a show about animals banging? Like, all right, whatever. I was like, I don't care. Like, this isn't for me.
We have very different taste in anime, I think.
You want to watch the animals bang? I mean, that's cool. I'm not judging, but like...
Zeke's a furry too. I love. You should try to. Zeke he goes to all the furry cons. He used to at least.
Bless. Yeah. I have no problem with that.
There are some pretty cool furries. I'm not one, but I always thought they were like these deviants.
No,
but
they're just people that like
hung
dressing
out
up
with
as
some
animals.
furries. Yeah, and a lot of
and
them
that's
are
disappointing to me. I was hoping it'd be all deviants. I was like, wait, so you guys like do this not for sex purposes? Well, what's the point? Yeah, that was my problem.
Yeah. So anyways, Elijah Wood wants to be in a Star Wars or Marvel film, guys. Did you know that?
Dude, Elijah, you were in the greatest trilogy of all time.
Stop. He needs to stop.
Let it go, bro. You don't. There are people like somewhere.
He's too powerful.
Somewhere the entire cast of the most recent Star Wars trilogy is like, I would kill to be in any other trilogy.
He needs to stop.
Who
would he even be in the Marvel world? He'd have to be Spider-Man. There's no one else. He'd have to be a short Spider-Man. There's no other short heroes. Wolverine.
He could be a voice like of a if there's an alien, like some kind of fun, like he could be the voice of like I don't know, some Wolverine.
Wolverine. Yeah, I like how that just hit you. You like didn't register it for a second.
Everyone in chat was like Wolverine, which is really funny.
Yeah. He could be MODOK. No, MODOK is already cast in my eyes.
He could be one of the X-Men. That's true. Although he's now
who could he be in the X? He's pretty old.
45, 50 years old. How old is he? He's old.
He's getting up there.
Like movie old, not like life old, but he's like,
Nightcrawler? No. Not Beast. Bronze, any good ideas on who Elijah Wood could play in the MCU? I'm drawing a blank here.
He could definitely be one of the many, oh my God, Mephisto, of course.
No, it can't be Nova.
Play Toad. He could be...
Toad wouldn't be bad.
That would also be funny if he was Martin Freeman's assistant. That would be very cute.
True, yeah, just give him like a
because
desk
Lord
job.
of the Rings.
Yeah.
Because Lord of the Rings, that'd be very cute.
I'd be into that.
I'm sorry, I'm sitting here thinking.
Oh, someone said Multiple Man. If we get to a point where Multiple Man is in the goddamn MCU, I feel like we've gone. God. I feel like I'm out at that. I feel like that's too deep. That's too deep of a cut.
What is do we have any guesses on who Adam Warlock would be as an actor?
We'd have to get like Adam Driver or whatever his name is, the guy from Star Wars.
Adam Driver as Adam Warlock?
Yeah, he's already in the Disney payroll.
He doesn't have an Adam Warlock vibe. Also, the few times I've seen Adam Driver with blonde hair, I've been like, that's an unnatural look. That doesn't look right. There's something weird about that.
Could go Keanu, maybe. Maybe. I don't know.
He's got, Adam Warlock has got to be like a young.
Known.
Yeah. He's got to be like a golden. He has to be on the sex appeal of a Thor, but he's all gold. You know what I mean? Like he's like perfect person.
Sure.
So I'm open for the casting call. If they want to let me know. They want to call me. Just saying.
Well, we'll see. We'll see if he gets a role. If old Elijah comes back, he's been making a lot. I feel like after Lord of the Rings, he kind of just did whatever the fuck he wanted because he could do whatever the fuck he wanted, right?
Like Daniel Radcliffe kind of did the same thing.
Yeah.
Man has more money and recently, I guess the other two hobbits, Merry and Pippin, have a podcast they do now, and they had him on it, and I listened to that entire episode because I'm a sucker for all of them together, and it was lovely. It was lovely to hear them all chat, and I realized oh my God, that movie was 20 years ago. Because I was like, oh wow, they all look like so much older now. And I'm like, oh yeah, because literally 20 years have passed. It's like,
Jesus.
Right.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm not gonna lie, watching the Lord of the Rings cast interact makes you wonder how good that production was, because you don't see that camaraderie from the MCU actors. Sorry, that's my opinion, But I've been rewatching the movies. I tweeted about it, and I was contemplating this exact thing, that like they spent years together working on this trilogy out, 'cause oftentimes shooting on location, got matching tattoos, and like I feel like we're closer for the experience. And I can't help but feel like what that must have been like when I had this epiphany like halfway through the first movie, where I was like, imagine like when Ian McKellen was like, "Oh, this is gonna be a good movie." Because a lot of time actors are on movies that suck and they just have to like go through it anyway. And I was like, imagine being on set and realizing, like, as you're filming, like, guys, this is gonna be a good movie. Like, I can't imagine what that euphoria must have been like. Realizing like that you're acting in an iconic franchise and it's going to be good, because you have to think that somewhere in the middle of the second Star Wars film in the new trilogy, I would have been despairing. I would have been like, I was so excited to book a Star Wars movie and it had to be this one. Sorry, that's my spicy take of the day. I would have been on set in my trailer like, damn, I was so excited. This movie ain't gonna be good, fam. Like, I would have been just, rolling on the floor, getting ready to go on set. But just imagine like being in Lord of the Rings and you're filming Two Towers and you're like, holy shit, this is the greatest film trilogy of all time in a minute. Yeah. Sorry. Tangent.
No, but it also, correct. You have to imagine where they were, right? So when you talk about Marvel movies, most of them are either filmed on a set
right
in like Ireland or the UK or in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Or so literally when you're done, you can like go anywhere and do anything. But when you're in Lord of the Rings, it was like, all right, well, we're in the middle of nowhere in New Zealand. There is nothing to do except sit around and like drink with your friends. That's it. And so you can imagine how they all bonded over like, well, we got, here we are.
They were also younger too, right? Like they were the cast, I think in general was a lot younger than that of the MCU.
I would love to know what it was. The person I really want to hear from is my boy Rudy Rudiger.
I guess he was probably the older one. Yeah,
he was the oldest one. Yeah. So I'd love to know
when he showed up
his experience was
in Stranger Things and was like gray and like 70 years old. I was real confused. But that's how old
he was. Because I'm very curious to see what his experience was with, because the three of them were very young at the time. And Sean Astin was, he'd been making movies for years and years and years before that. So I'm very curious. Like Sean Astin is Goonies. He's been making movies since Goonies, maybe before. And so I'm like super curious what his what his experience was. Was it the same thing for him as an older person who was with those young guys? I don't know.
Let me ask you this, and then we'll move on to What If Episode 3.
Is Rudy the best sports movie ever made? Yes.
Correct. I will agree with you on that point. Also, did you know that Sean Connery was originally supposed to play Gandalf? He was the first pick.
Yes.
That's right.
Can you imagine?
Frodo.
Can you imagine Sean Connery doing the "You will not pass" thing here?
That would not pass, you bloody bitch. Get over here.
It'd be so stupid.
You big dumb fiery bitch. Fight me.
That movie would have sucked so bad.
That would be
sometimes things are serendipitous, know? And I get that, like, sometimes you can think that you're on a good project because you feel like it'll come together in the edit, and sometimes it doesn't. But I can tell you, having worked on stuff, sometimes like a lot of the time like, oh, this is not going to be good. Like working on a production, writing on a production, there are 110% times that like, oh, this is gonna be one of those things I don't promote. Like, I'm not gonna be tweeting about this one,
Yeah. Would have been crazy. All right, let's talk What If Episode 3. I saw a lot of people in my chat. What, Jesse, what's going on?
Nothing. I was thinking about Ian McKellen and like how I was looking at his IMDb for a hot minute and was just like, I can't believe that someone thought to go a different choice than him. Like, he's so iconic as Gandalf. It makes no sense. Like, there's no, in your mind, you just can't replace it.
Yeah.
And that, I was just like, I can't type it on my computer because my keyboard's broke. So I had to look on my phone. I'm doing all my research on my
Happens.
phone right now. I don't know what's going on.
It happens.
So
it happens. Anyways, what if episode 3? I saw a lot of people like down on this episode before I watched it, so maybe I went in with lower expectations after the second episode, and that's why I didn't mind it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was kind of, I thought it was another fun thought experiment. I thought it was very different from the second one because it did follow. It basically followed every post-credit scene in the MCU leading up to Avengers, which was fine. But it was fun. I didn't know who was the one that was doing all the killing until the very end. It was a great mystery to me.
Yeah, I actually really enjoyed this one. I think the ending twist, I was a little like, wait.
Yeah, that was kind of like
that seems
pushed on.
Like, that seems like a plot point we should have known about. Right, because the whole thing is contingent on the fact that in this alternate timeline, a character did a thing they did not do in the normal timeline, and it made the villain act. Like that was the impetus for the villain's sort of like motivations. But we had no clue any of that was happening. Like, you know, so it was like the twist was a thing that none of you will see coming because none of you will ever know that it happened until the very end.
Right.
But other than that, the mystery leading up to it, the idea of, you know, what if each of the Avengers was killed and
instead of recruited. Yeah, and
I was like, oh, that's super fun. And, you know, the things they did the entire time I was like, oh, you know, I guess I realized that Marvel, it was supposed to be like Marvel is more than the Avengers. It was kind of the vibe. Yeah. It was like, even if the main cast is gone, there's so many other heroes that, like, you know, we can still do this thing. I was like, oh, all right. I mean, that's kind of fun. Yeah, I enjoyed watching the Hulk explode. That was crazy.
Crazy. There were two the Hulk death was kind of like, okay, he put like a thing and like he put one of the expanda things on his heart and like that's why the Hulk was taken out. Sure, that's believable. How in the fuck does Thor get shot by an arrow and died?
In the heart, bro.
What you can't, like, bullets don't do anything to Thor, I thought.
In the heart, bro.
That was the one where I was just kind of like, how the fuck did that happen? He was human. Oh,
that bothered
true.
Me too.
He was human. He didn't have his powers because Odin stripped him away at that point.
Oh, that's right.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I
wow.
forgot about that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I forgot about that too.
I forgot about that point.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean...
Okay. For me, it had that same issue like the first episode had where they try to put so much in an episode and then they don't let any of it breathe. So there was like parts where I was like in it and having fun and then parts where I was like, what the fuck is this? And one of the scenes that really sticks out to me is like, you know, Hawkeye's dead and I got this like sexy guy rotting on a table next to me. And he's like, yeah, and it smells like lavender even while he's rotting. And he's like, I was like, what the?
Yeah.
Like, it was just so fucking weird. I'm sorry.
I was like, over his hair a little bit. Yeah.
Well, and like it was just so weird. I was like, okay, that's somebody's dead. Like, are we trying to, I couldn't tell if they were trying to play it for a joke or I was like, do people laugh at this? Like, it was like the kind of humor you see in like I don't know how to describe it. Like, I was like, it was so weird where I was like kind of cringe where it's just like, oh, okay, weird, but whatever. And there was like several like little jokes like that where I was like, huh? Or I was just like, okay, maybe some people
I think
find
you
this
forgot
funny.
who Coulson was. Like, Coulson was weird.
He was kind of
like,
he was like
he was like a fetishist of superheroes.
Yeah, he was the truest fanboy. Yeah.
Yeah, right. And like, you know, the whole like I love Captain America, heart,
right.
Dash Captain America. I was like, okay.
Yeah. I think that's just Coulson. It kind of sucks because
it totally fucks with like every scene. Like I thought they were supposed to be building like the who's killing the Avengers, and right when it's like, you know, look at this, 3 people are dead, and it's like, you know, he smells like lavender. Like, oh, that's nice, honey. Anyways,
Here's the thing. Admittedly, that goof in that moment makes no sense.
Yeah.
But as a character,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
If it wasn't like Thor, but it was like if he was in the room with Thor and Thor was alive, he would say that.
I'm not saying it's out of character. I never said it's out of character. I'm saying
no, the scene though makes no sense.
Where it's placed, yes, where it's placed in the context of the show, you're like, why is this here? And there's like multiple things like that where you're like, why is this here? This is so weird for this to be here.
I mean, there's a lot in this episode that you know, I think it's the whole series has a lot of like weird little goof moments that you're like, would that be there? But the one thing I loved the most about this entire episode was like, I know I said this going in that I didn't like the way the series looked, but the more I watch it, the more I'm like, I love the visuals in this series. And so I don't know how much the last 2 episodes featured it, but for some reason they really went all out this episode to make it be like the Watcher is in the background of all these shots. And I was
all
like,
the big like cinematic shots. That was very cool. They actually did it a lot in the first 2 episodes. But I think it was a little bit more subtle.
I totally didn't notice. It wasn't until this episode that I noticed it, and I was like, I love that he's just like in the background, like, this shit's crazy, bro.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah,
so I was super into it.
I liked it. I liked that aspect a lot. I loved how cartoony Black Widow's fighting was. Like, at no point did they attempt to make it look realistic with her being like, and like punching that dude in the face 40 times. Like,
that's my issue.
I loved that.
That's my issue with the animation is that it has I feel like they haven't, at least at this point, they haven't quite figured out how to do action with this animation style, because it all just looks really weird.
I think they've definitely figured it out.
I think
it may
like
not look
watching
real, but it's awesome.
I think like watching Sam Jackson do a flip. He looked like he was like on. It looked like he was
Sam Jackson, bro.
Still, yeah, you're right, but it's also just like that. It just looks a little bit off to me.
I only super loved it.
Gripe with the animation is, this is such a weird one. Banner's face, like, because it's like they were maybe trying to do Mark Ruffalo, but not really. So it ends up just being this, like, it's like, whose dad was like put in this movie? You know, he looks like somebody's uncle who stumbled onto set, because it doesn't look like Ruffalo, in my opinion. It doesn't look like not Ruffalo. So I was just left with like, why does he look like that? Maybe I'm alone and maybe it's a personal preference, but I liked everybody else's face. But Banner's, I was like, is this a different character or is this the same Banner? Because I don't know who this is.
Yeah.
I need you to know, I can't look up the credits right now, but whoever was Black Widow,
the voice
actress, because it clearly wasn't Scarlett Johansson.
I'll tell you.
But whoever was that voice actress, I want to like shake her hand, because I not only love the fact that she like did the voice, she was like, I'm Scarlett Johansson, but also I think a little bit better.
Lake
I think
Bell.
It's like a little bit.
Yes.
I thought it was.
She was like a little bit
flavor.
better. Yes.
Actually had like personality and seasoning.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
all of her lines still had that like, I am Scarlett Johansson, but she did it in a way that I was like, oh, this is what the character could be if every line wasn't, and then we're gonna have to beat you up or whatever. Like the same monotone, like, I'm a tough spy assassin. She actually had like, you know, like little intonations in her voice that I was like, get it, girl. So who was that? I'm sorry, I was speaking over you.
She was in, I mean, a lot of these movies I've seen, I don't know if you've seen them. She was in No Strings Attached. She was in What Happens in Vegas. She's been in Harley Quinn as, I think.
Oh, she's Poison Ivy.
Yeah, she's Poison Ivy.
Oh, she's wonderful. Wonderful.
I guess she was in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I didn't know that. Who did she play then? That might have to be a deep dive into who she's playing.
Yeah, if you haven't seen the Harley Quinn show,
is it good?
It's super fun. It's super fun.
Really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's It's really funny. It reminds me of like Venture Brothers in that it does not
Yes.
at any point attempt to be like what do I say, agreeable. Like the jokes they make, you're like, like they see everything out to its conclusion.
Well, that's
like
good.
they don't
Yes.
hold back from the joke. They are very much like, I love Bane's character in that show. I really just watch for Bane. He's so cute.
I'll have to check
He's
it
so
out.
funny.
Yeah, everything in that show is like so well done and so silly. Yeah, it's one of those things where I was very surprised that I enjoyed it as much as I did. That first season is so well done. I just started watching season 3, whatever they're on right now, and it's great. It's like super fun. It's like a great show. I
Nice.
was very surprised that it was like, you know, as good as it was.
I'll have to check.
The Joker
check
is
it
like so toxic, and Bane is like this like really woke sweetheart, and the Joker is always bullying all the other villains. It's like hilarious. He's like, you know, Harley's a slut. She has HPV, you know, and Bane's like, well, it's present and it's the most common STD in sexually active adults.
What
You know,
the
and
fuck?
Joker's like, shut up! And it's just like so
It's very good.
ridiculous.
Huh?
You want to see
There's
like
a scene-
adorable woke Bane. Just it's so cute.
There's a scene where like the Joker finds out who Bruce Wayne, like who Batman is.
I think I've seen
And
that
he's-
clip.
Yeah, and he's just like, "Where are our cars, Bruce? Where's the electric car?" It's very, it's
Okay,
so
yes.
it's like what a great show. It's so funny.
Yeah, I need to watch that.
Oh, and King Shark, whoever the actor is who plays King Shark in that is
Oh
so good.
yeah, no,
So
all the
good.
characters are great. Freaking Kite Man, no, all of them are good. They're so funny.
even know who
That
that
show
is.
is so ridiculous.
Kite Man, he's the superhero,
Okay.
villain, super villain, whatever he is. It's Alan Tudyk. No, wait, Alan Tudyk's the Joker. Who's Kite Man?
I don't know.
I don't know, but it's like he's such a. Everyone in that show is like unexpectedly great at doing the voiceovers for all the different characters in it. It's very funny.
Sounds good.
Anyway,
Yeah.
If you want to see, again, this is one of those weird things where I consistently say the DC can't make a movie to save their lives, but damn, their animation's great. Their animation's always good, and so if you want a comedy version of the DC universe, Harley Quinn, it's a good show.
There you go. I will probably start watching it. I started a new Netflix show last night, but I'm already in episode 2 and like trying to fucking get out of it. So this is a great distraction. I'll have to go check out Harley Quinn. No more Manifest for me. Don't watch Manifest. It's not great. It's not great.
I gotta watch. What is that like? Night of the Werewolf. I gotta watch the Witcher movie.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen that yet.
I haven't watched it yet.
Haven't checked it out. Anything else on What If episode 3?
I'm trying to think if there was anything.
I thought from just a general sense, I thought it was a fun episode. I don't know why the first episode was so. I was like so not into it when episode 3 was just the post-credit scenes of every movie.
Well,
But episode
again,
1
because
was just Captain America in a different light as well.
because it did, and this is, I think, like I said when we went into this, the thing I don't want What Ifs to do is literally just change one character. And the first episode was literally, what if Captain America was just Peggy Carter? And then nothing really different happened. There was a tentacle beast, but it's the same like world-ending apocalypse nonsense. And then she gets trapped in the ice. It's like, oh, all right, well, whatever. And the second one was like, hey, this one change made all these other things change. And this one was like, these changes made all these other things change. And there was a mystery involved. And it was like, who is killing this person?
Yeah,
And so there was like
True.
other things going on
that's true.
than just, wouldn't it be cool if, you know, Steve Rogers didn't get his powers and Peggy got them instead, and then they like the exact same movie happened, except like not really? Like, you know, out of all of them, that was the least compelling because the least change happened.
Yeah. Okay. I guess that makes a lot of sense.
I'm just imagining all the comments that are gonna be like, "Why can't Jesse just watch it and have fun?"
That's not
Here's the thing, I
that's
did
not
have
what
fun.
the that's not what the
I
show's
had fun.
about.
I'm just saying,
I know,
compared to the other two, like I think
It's just
watching Peggy
Yeah.
Carter kick ass was amazing. Watching Steve Rogers as Iron Man, amazing. A tentacle bee showing up and like sucking up Red Skull, super fun. Was it a great episode? Not really. We can say it was not really a great episode.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. I don't know where I stand with this one. Like, I kind of...
What didn't you like about it specifically?
I think I liked 2 so much more just because they weren't... I feel like they just went a totally different way with it.
True.
And with this one, like, I kind of was less enthused by the whole, like, oh, well, you know, there's always going to be an Avengers, and it's going to be Captain America and Captain Marvel. And I was like, but they are Avengers. I thought they were going to be like, well, because these Avengers died, the actual Avengers are going to be...
The X-Men showed up.
Yeah, like...
I would have been like, oh, shit, we need to get into this.
You know, Bruce Banner... Yeah, Bruce Banner has a cousin, and that he, you know, gave blood to at one point. You know, She-Hulk. Like, I thought they were gonna, because when he went that way, like, there's always gonna be, you know, Avengers. The Avengers was about the idea, and he's standing over the caskets. I was like, oh, who? Like, if this is what the episode is building up to, I want to see. Like, is someone else gonna be in the Iron Man suit? Is like, you know, is it gonna be, you know, War Machine? Like, what is it? I want to know. And then it was like Captain America and Captain Marvel. And you're like, they are Avengers. Like, so to me, that was like, I don't know. It felt so weird to like end on that note. Because I think, like Jesse says, in my head, I always have these like
grandiose
crazy
ideas.
theories where I'm like, oh shit. So maybe this means Loki becomes Thor, and maybe something like that.
That's
who
where
knows?
I thought
and
this
then
episode
so
was
we
going.
get. Maybe we get
Loki
took
over Earth, apparently.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe we get like a different Iron Man, like, you know, and then maybe we get a different, and instead it was like, no, it's the same. So that to me, I think was like a little bit of a letdown. But the episode overall was fun. I liked that it was a mystery.
Yeah.
What's so like funny about the ending is like, and then Loki takes over Earth, and then he's like, all right, well, I'm gonna go get Captain America and Captain Marvel, who are not even remotely on the same... Captain Marvel by herself could handle the whole Earth conquered thing. There's no reason for Steve Rogers to even be there. He offers nothing to the situation. He's just a powerful man. Meanwhile...
I think you nailed it right there,
Captain
Jesse.
Marvel could just handle it.
Jesse,
just
hold
handle
on.
it.
What did you just say? He's what? I think that's why they had to go wake him up for everyone else. That's it. It's the idea that he's a powerful man, and that's an easier pill to swallow for people instead of just Captain Marvel being fucking Captain Marvel. They're like, oh yeah, we got a powerful man. We're good to go.
The minute he got the beeper out, he's like, "What's that beeper, sir?" And I was like, "Oh my god, are they about to Captain Marvel?" And I was like, ready for her to be like, "I'm gonna kick everyone's ass," and I'm gonna just like that would have been hilarious if they ended that way. Recalls Captain Marvel, she shows up and the episode's over in 5 minutes, and she's like, "All right, see you later, everyone," and just like leaves, and he's like, "God damn!"
But that would be
really handle her shit. That'd been hilarious.
That would be
if
Marvel
like, admitting, I found the bad guys. I defeated Loki. I did all this stuff. All right, see you in another few years.
The thing is, they can't do that. That would be Marvel admitting that they don't know how to write Captain Marvel into the MCU. And they're not going to do that.
That would have been... That's how it should have been. She just shows up, solves the problem, and is like, "Bye, everyone." Yeah. And he's like, that guy, thank God I kept that beeper. That would have been so funny if it was like, and this is why she can't be in everything, because she's so powerful.
Yeah.
Literally, like, problems would solve themselves. And like, that would have been an amazing episode. Like, we don't even need the Avengers. We just need her.
Yeah.
That would have been amazing.
It's true. It's true.
You know what I did appreciate about it, though? I kind of could tell, or I kind of had the theory, like, after I saw the broken syringe, that it was Ant-Man. And I was like, do you think they're going to meme this whole, like, what if Ant-Man went up Thanos' ass?
That's where I thought we were going to. Yeah. I was like, wait a minute. Yeah. What if this is Ant-Man?
And I was like...
That was last episode.
Did they make a whole what if on, yes, Ant-Man 100% could have gone up Thanos' ass and killed him? Yeah. Is that what the entire premise of this is? Because like I feel like that, and for those of you that don't know, this was like basically
giant
a meme. It was a part of internet. Yeah, it was a part of internet culture where people were theorizing like, well, could Ant-Man defeat Thanos if he just went subatomic, went up his rectum, and then just expanded. And I feel like with this show, they kind of confirmed that because he did it to the Hulk. Like, well,
he fucking destroyed everyone. Yeah.
So it's like, I feel like they were kind of doing a what if of like, yes, he could have.
Yeah.
That was the one thing I appreciated a lot. I'm not saying I didn't appreciate anything else. There were other scenes I found enjoyable. But the thing I appreciated most was I was like, is this Marvel quietly canonizing and being like, yes, he could, Ant-Man could have killed Thanos, like, if he went up his butt. Like, is that, I don't know.
To this day, I still think about, I think it was an animation or maybe it was they used clips from the movies, but it's like Ant-Man shrinking down, like going up his butt, and it has like Brolin's face going, oh, it's incredible. And then in the background, it's like, bah, 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 bah.
I've seen that video.
I keep thinking about it. He's like, oh, yeah.
Oh man, I hope they meme on that one day. That'd be the greatest thing Marvel has ever done if they somehow meme on that.
Was it Shaq? It might have been Shaq.
Oh, it
might have been Shaq where Shaq does that face where he's like, ooh, where he eats the hot wings. I think it was that. Yes, you're totally right. It was Shaq's face.
Oh god.
Oh my god.
That's even better. That's even better. Marvel tweeted out this morning that episode 4 of What If will be the Doctor Strange episode, which I don't know what the hell I mean, they could really, of all the what ifs that they could really do some crazy shit in, this could be a crazy one. I hope it's not just a retelling of the first movie, though.
You all right, Bronze? You okay over there?
He looks a little evil here, I think.
We lost her.
I mean, look at that. That looks a little evil.
Senpai! I'm okay with it.
Looks a little evil right there.
I mean, that's just cocky.
That's okay.
Maybe it's Doctor Strange where he doesn't lose his hands.
Yeah, his hands actually look pretty okay.
Like, what if it's Doctor Strange and he doesn't have an accident, and he's like extra cocky Doctor Strange?
On bordering on like evil.
I don't know. What does that do to a person if he doesn't have that like brought down low point?
Oh, yeah.
Someone says Dr. Jafar Strange. He does look a little bit like Jafar. If you gave him one of those little hats, little tops, yeah, a little bit. Could be a wild episode. I hope it goes wild. I hope it's not just a retelling of Doctor Strange 1.
In the trailer, there's one clip of Doctor Strange falling through the multiverse. So
yes,
clearly it's going to be something crazy. I'm excited. This is the one I'm like really excited for, because out of all the visuals they showed in the trailer, this is the one I was like, "Ooh, let's go!" So
yeah,
I'm ready for this.
You don't think this is the episode with Spider-Man where he becomes like Spider-Man Strange or whatever, right? Because that was.
I mean,
there's an image of that in one of the trailers.
Well, I feel like I see. This is what I don't know, because they included, if you look at those toys that we found before,
right?
One of the toys was like Nebula with hair, and I was like, "Oh, I wonder what that's from."
Yeah.
And it ended up being the last episode 2. But then there's an image of, there's the toy of Spider-Man. He has Doctor Strange stuff, but then there's also an image on the posters of Gamora, who looks like Thanos.
Yeah.
And so that clearly wasn't in the last episode. So I guess maybe Peter as Strange doesn't need to be in this episode.
Could be its own thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I keep thinking my dumb brain, whenever I watch one of these, is always thinking like,
have you seen the trailer for episode 4?
No.
Okay, because I just watched it.
About to make me look this up on my phone.
And that explains maybe some of why he looks so evil.
Is he a vampire?
There's just a lot happening in that trailer.
Yeah, is there actually a trailer? Because I didn't see that from the MCU.
Yeah. I'm looking at it right now on my phone.
Yeah. Sorry, I haven't seen the trailer either. It came out 5 days ago, and it explains some of our questions, I think.
Can we play the trailer?
No, that would get us That would get this old video claimed
Wait,
by
all
the
right,
mouse.
I'm watching on my phone.
Yeah, go ahead. In the trailer, he meets Captain Carter, and he's dark in the OG What If trailer. Oh. At least explain what's happening, Jesse, so we don't just have silence.
So, the volume's down very low, but I'm watching him fall through realities. He ends up meeting Thor at some point.
Okay.
And then I'm watching him fling spell powers at looks like himself. Well, here we are.
Mm-hmm. That's what I
Here
mean
we
by
are.
like there's a shadow version of himself that very much looks evil, and this version that we're seeing in the poster looks like a mishmash of both, if I'm being honest. Because there's like a evil version, like a straight up evil version of him fighting the normal version of him, and this poster, in my theory, is the both of them fused. Maybe
there is someone in chat saying that's a fan made trailer and not
no.
official.
This is literally on the Marvel. This is like the Marvel Disney Plus website.
Okay.
It is from 5 days ago. Marvel Studios. It's definitely not fan made.
Okay.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
Well, we'll find out Wednesday. We'll see what happens then. We'll have a pretty packed episode next week, actually. Shang-Chi review, and then What If episode 4. I think Jesse's still watching the trailer.
No, I mean, I'm now trying to verify. Everyone's like, bro, no, it's fake. I'm like, looking at it. It's on every single internet thing as promo episode 4. Yeah, no, this is super real. It's a 1 minute promo of like actual footage from the thing.
Okay. All right.
I was gonna say, I was like, I can't.
I was like, if a fan made this, genius.
Let's do
It's
some.
literally on the website.
Yeah, just go to their Twitter or their YouTube. You'll probably find it there. Let's do predictions here for Shang-Chi post-credit scene. I've read that there's 2. What do we think they are? What do they link? Where are we going in the Shang-Chi post-credit scenes?
Damn, what the hell would it be?
Any big ideas? I don't know. The long what's it? The complete and we'll be shocked if it happens, but we'll predict it anyways, is that it's a tie-in or a mention of Iron Fist in some form. But I don't know what
I don't know. The end of Iron Fist was like, and then he has guns. And they're like, I don't know if that's going to happen.
That's from the comics. That's the thing. They didn't just like make that shit up.
I would think if I had to wager, and this is me not knowing anything, one of the scenes, if there are 2, one of the scenes is kind of like a goof joke scene involving the aftermath of whatever happens with Wong and what's his face?
Abomination?
Abomination, thank you. Destructo. Abomination. Where that whatever happens after that, it's going to be like Abomination is like, oh shit, man, I got my ass kicked and life sucks. And then Julie Louis-Dreyfus is going to show up and be like, hey, I've got a deal for you. I feel like that's happening for sure.
Well, Abomination is still the same actor, right? From the original Incredible Hulk. So yeah, it could just be him like reverted. Can he? Can Abomination revert back to like a human?
I have no clue how they're going to handle that in this franchise.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a thing. I think he's always just Abomination.
So Tim Roth is just going to still be so I mean, I feel like they can, whatever the case may be, I feel like that has to be, because he's definitely 100% going to be a part of whatever that is.
Yeah. Do you think we get?
So I feel like that's him.
Do you think we get any Eternal tie-ins here?
I don't think we're going to get an Eternal tie-in. My prediction is that we're going to get something that ties Simu Liu's character into the rest of the
greater MCU.
Because I wonder if like he's going to have, if there's going to be some, like I already think there's going to be an interaction with Wong. Yeah. But I wonder if the post-credit scene is going to be something a little bit more solid. Like, even if that's like Doctor Strange showing up, or someone like a way for that connection to be made, so that in a future Avengers film they can call him. Because right now, like as it stands, I don't think that handoff is going to happen in the film proper. Because maybe I'm wrong, but
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good point. Like, how does he connect to the MCU, like the greater MCU, apart from Wong? Is it Wong like introducing him to someone? But the other thing is, I don't know in terms of like hand-to-hand combat or like the mysticism aspect of the film, like who in the MCU apart from like Doctor Strange really can relate to all of that with like dragons and shit.
So one of my theories is like, one of the things Wong does for Steven in the comics especially is like, one of the things the two of them work on is like tracking down and safeguarding artifacts.
Sure.
And this plays like a really large part when all the magic in the universe is depleted, because essentially they have to like siphon magic from these like ancient artifacts to try to keep casting spells.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that is going to come into play in the MCU yet, or maybe it never will. But we do have a sort of like idea that Doctor Strange, or at least, the sorcerers are collectors, because he has these massive collections that we've seen multiple times housed inside his sanctum. There's like just rows and rows. So we have to assume that someone is going out there, whether that's Wong or whether that's he himself, that goes and is like collecting these things or protecting them or safeguarding them in museums, something like that.
Yeah.
So my theory is that maybe Wong goes to Madripoor to get the 10 rings and is thwarted by
Shang-Chi or the Mandarin?
Yes.
Both?
Well, yeah, I don't know who he's going to be thwarted by, but I wonder if he's going to like collect the 10 rings and then ends up, I don't know. That's just my theory on why he might be in Madripoor. And that is my theory on why he might interact with Simu Liu's character.
That's a good guess.
Maybe they're both after the same thing. I could be wrong. And then from there, the introduction could be made to Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's a thing. So Wong has done this in the past where he both has a thing he has to do, but then the writers also have him lore bomb. So many times in the movies, he's the guy who's like, all right, so here's the plot reason why I'm doing this, but also now to talk to you about something in the lore that you need to know. And he's done that several times. So I wonder if it's quite possible that you might both be right, and that he's going there to get the 10 rings, and then he like has a conversation with what is the character's name who will get the 10 rings obviously at the end of this?
Shang-Chi. The main character, Shang-Chi. Jesse, welcome back.
So anyway, he's gonna meet Tom Morello. I can't do this anymore. I need to go into old folks' home. They need to take me away. They need to put me away. Honest to God,
I thought you were trolling.
This isn't even a joke. Chat's like Jesse's just trolling. I'm gonna let you know.
That's what I thought.
Honest to God, forgot the name. I forgot it was Shang-Chi. I honest to God forgot. It wasn't in my brain.
Were you thinking Simu Liu? Is that where you wanted to go?
Yes.
Okay.
And I didn't want to say his name. I wanted to say the name of the like actual character in the movie, and then I just forgot that the whole thing was called Shang-Chi. Like, honest to God, I don't know what I was thinking. This is it for me.
Needs
anyway,
more coffee.
Yeah.
So the thing is, Jesse, actually, your brain's frame rate is slower, and it's because you get.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh my God! You don't. Never have I. Like when you said that, JP, I was like, "Well, this is it."
No, I saw the reaction. I saw you go like dead for a second. Your face just kind of dropped, like literally physically dropped, and you just took your headphones off.
Because it's the name of the movie. How can you both be like? I was both stunned and embarrassed at the exact same time. I was hit by like.
You know what, Jesse? Do not feel bad about it. It happens, especially because you're trying so hard not to misstep. Because even if you know what you're talking about and people know what you're talking about, they're still going to be like, you mean. So I feel like, especially when talking about the stuff, you second guess yourself and you kind of get lost in the sauce a little bit because you're trying very hard to have all your info correct. And
Jesse gets lost in the sauce all the time.
Yeah. I get it.
Oh my God, I
Don't
could use
worry
some.
about
No,
it.
but like, thank you, Bronze. Because what was going through my head was, I don't want to say the name of the actor. I'm trying to think of the name of the movie, and then rather than just be like, I'm gonna take a wild swing and guess because my brain is like, I was like, that guy, and you're like, the literal title of the movie, and I just,
you should.
It got me,
Jesse. When you go see when you go to the theater on Thursday, just in the middle of the movie when Shang-Chi steps on screen, no matter who's sitting to your left and or right, just lean over and go, "Hey, what's that character's name?"
Who is that? You mean turn into my parents?
Who is that guy? Who is that guy?
Who is that guy?
What's his name?
Anyway, in the movie, I feel like if Wong goes to Shang-Chi, then the conversation, if there's going to be a post-credit scene, can both cover the idea of Wong is attempting to get the 10 rings and have Wong drop a knowledge bomb that's like, also, the rings were brought to us thousands of years ago by eternal beings. And then there's
the origins of it.
2 for 1. Yeah.
I think we're going to get... A lot of the reviews said that the movie gets, quote, like lost in itself in the third act because the first and second act are like somewhat grounded in reality. And then in the third act, they just like fucking go bonkers.
There's like a before dragon.
Yeah, there's a before and after dragon moment where they just go fucking bonkers. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm curious to see. Like, do they just handle this shit as like, oh yeah, these are all aliens, or what happens? Do they go through a fucking teleport and just end up in like, oh yeah, these are giant like flaming lions, guys?
Do you think they're gonna do that? They're gonna say that the 10 rings are alien tech.
They're gonna say they're dragons.
Instead of being like,
I think what they say in the movie is that they are the 10 rings are, because they go on their arms, they go on a dragon's fingers is the origin of them. And I think they're also going to say that dragons are aliens.
Well, that would be crazy. Anyone who enjoys that plot point must be an insane person.
How else do you explain where dragons are from, right? Like, they're just beings that existed on Earth is like a deviant thing, or like what?
Yeah, anyone who sits through multiple storylines about dragons being aliens must be just the weirdest person ever. Wink.
They went that way with Thor. Yeah, that's true. Mutated lizards. I don't know if they'd go the science route, although they do kind of, Marvel tends to blend the idea of like magic and science being the same thing, at least in like the Thor canon. So,
I just realized I also say Simu Liu or Simu Liu's character a lot because, and I had this epiphany while Jesse was talking about it, because I still feel awkward not knowing if it's Shang-Chi or Shang-Chi.
It's Shang-Chi.
And saying Shang-Chi kind of makes me feel like going to a cafe and ordering like a coffee and a croissant. Like we all know that's how, it's not croissant, but that's still how I'm going to order it, because ordering it as croissant would make me feel like a fucking tool, right? So I don't know. I feel like I feel weird, like still pronouncing it, which there's nothing wrong with pronouncing a character's name correctly. Like I get that's an important thing to do, but I think I still feel weird about it because there's no winning, like, because you're people that are like, why are they saying it like that? I think I feel really self-conscious about saying Shang-Chi. So I think I like in general try to like avoid saying it as much as possible, and I'm just now realizing that, and I'm kind of embarrassed about it.
Yeah,
because I'm like, my impulse is still to say Shang-Chi, just because I said it like that for so long.
I said that for so long.
I kind of want to say Shang-Chi, But then I also feel awkward saying that. I don't know. I
It's
feel
Your
awkward.
accent is always going to be off, and so if you just go Shang-Chi, it's fine.
Here's the thing: it's because you care and you want to be respectful, and you don't want to just be like, "F it, it's Shang-Chi, and I'm going to say it that way forever because I don't care what people think about me." Like, you're actively trying to be respectful to the character, and like, I get it, and as like, you know,
but I
as
think
the host of the show,
at least for me, I think that's why, like, I think that's why I might be avoiding saying it.
I did that same thing. If you go back and watch the old episodes of the show, I said, "Oh yeah, Shang-Chi, blah blah blah," and I was like, "I think I'm pronouncing that correctly." I watched Kevin Feige say it enough. Also, I learned how to say Kevin Feige.
enough. I still say Feige for some reason. Like, it happens.
It's a strange name.
You just have to assume that you're probably going to get something wrong, and there is definitely going to be someone on the internet who's going to be like, "You are the worst," and that's, you know what? It's going to happen. It's going to happen. And
was that Alec Baldwin? Where did that come from? That you're the worst.
Could be.
That bronze girl, you have insulted me for the last time.
We've come full circle.
The 10 rings will find you.
Yeah. He sounds like he's trying to rev up, but he can't get the car started. I love they were like, famed actor Ben Kingsley, please give us your Mandarin. He's like,
this is how the Mandarin talks.
And you're like, yeah, it is. We love it. That's you're right. That's it. Terrifying.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's it for this episode. We'll end it on that. Let's do shout outs and then we'll close this thing out. Also, I will state, I know that we're doing, if you didn't know, we're doing a sponsored set of streams over the next couple of months into 2022 for Midnight Suns, the new Firaxis 2K game in association with Marvel. I know that there's game footage out on Wednesday. I don't know if we're going to be doing a sponsored portion next week. So I'm not going to watch it until we watch it on this. I don't know if that's next week or I'll see, but I won't watch it. So I will make a note to watch that with you guys for the first time. I'll try my hardest. We'll see.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But that comes out Wednesday. So we're very, I think we're all very excited for that because we know a little bit more than most folks about that stuff because of the NDA. So when we can finally actually like talk about all the stuff that we know, I think we're all very much looking forward to that. But next week's episode should be a bigger episode, regardless, because we've got What If episode 4, Shang-Chi to review. And then if you guys really want to get crazy, I think our Marvel ranking system will be built by Barry at that point. So we might save that for the week after, but we've got some plans with that stuff. Not only is Barry building us a ranking system, he's also going to make it so that viewers can log in with their Twitch account and we can get an aggregate community vote on what everyone thinks is their top 29 or 30 films or whatever.
Number 1, Barry, you are a genius. Number 2, look, this podcast is the greatest on the internet, and you can't convince me otherwise.
I would agree.
Subscribe to JP today for allowing your voice to be heard. Because if it were up to me, I'd be like, why do they get a vote?
Shots fired. Shots fired. Out of Bronze. Bronze, we're going to skip your shout outs for a second. Let chat forget that you said that. Jesse, quick, distract them.
This distraction is a link to the end of Tony Stark. You should subscribe to Bronze Girl's channel, where she will mock you and treat you like the scum you are. Venom.
Give me a Mandarin doing Venom with a little Yoda. Do you need?
Okay.
Hold on. Work on this for a second. Bronze, do some shout outs.
What? I have to do the voice out loud. I can't I can't just like
mute.
talk
Here,
over
I'll mute
Bronze.
you. I'll mute you. Bronze, do some shout outs.
Okay.
You're muted, Jesse. Bronze, shout outs, please.
Hi, hello. I'm ThatBronzeGirl. I'm currently playing through Aliens Fireteam on my stream. It's a lot of fun. I'm close to 30,000 on Twitter. So if you want to follow me on Twitter and Twitch, that would be great. I stream 6 days a week. That's me.
Stuff. What do we got going on? We'll do JPNN after that. After this, we'll do trailer time later today. We're watching more Downton Abbey. Day off tomorrow. Drop Frames Wednesday. Kind of just coasting along right now till Tales of Arise comes out later in September. Jesse Cox, are you ready?
Eddie, feed me, you will.
No, doesn't work. It's 3. It's 2. It's like Spider-Man 3. It's too many characters.
Next week we'll add a fourth one in. All right, next
too many.
week
You
we'll add
can't
a
do it.
fourth
It's too
one
many
in.
characters. It's like it's the Spider-Man 3 of impressions. It's too much.
Okay.
It's too much.
I'm pretty sure that was like my sleep paralysis demon.
Nice.
You asked me to do Cookie Monster, which is like Eddie, I need to eat right now, Eddie, which is obviously Venom. Then you asked me to do Yoda, which is like, feed me, Eddie, you will, yes. And then you asked me to do like,
Eddie, we need sustenance.
like it's hard to do.
That's tough.
Venom.
No,
It's hard to
much.
do.
Look, we got time. Okay, you keep practicing.
unlike my
No, we
Yoshi
don't.
impression, which was spot on.
Oh, and then Yoshi, he's like, but then you like down like
Yoshi.
right? Works.
Oh God. We'll see you next week, everyone. Thanks for watching. Go watch Shang-Chi. I don't know. I am curious to see what's going to happen.
Yes, please do.
Yeah, go watch it so you can at least join us next week. We understand if you're going to be waiting 45 days to tune into the episode so you can watch it on Disney Plus. But it'll be interesting to see what happens in terms of both this show and also the greater world, and if they go and see it in theaters.
It's gonna be like crazy to see what happens to Earth.
Yeah.
Huge fan of that series. Can't wait to see what the finale
love
is.
Earth.
Really excited.
Love Earth. We'll probably
I feel like I'm
here's
so
what we'll do.
involved in that series.
Here's what we'll do.
Yeah.
We'll save the Shang-Chi conversation to the very end next week. So you can come hear us talk about the news.
What if it's like hype as shit and I can't keep my mouth shut?
Then that's
We'll
on
mute
Jesse.
you.
That's on Jesse.
You both were like, and then we'll shut your damn mouth up, you idiot. I'm like,
We're going to try to save it towards the end of next Actually, no, it's going to be kind of tough because we talk about we might have to limit our
That's what I'm
conversation on
saying.
that because we do talk about it nonstop. We'll figure it out. We'll talk. We'll see
Guys,
where we go.
I think we might be fanboys.
What do you mean? You're just now realizing this?
No, I'm just that's the bit, JP, is that
Okay.
we're that's
Okay.
that was the thing.
All right.
Is that's why we get excited and talk about it.
Fanboy you are?
Thanks, Yoda.
Okay, look.
Enjoy Marvel, do you? Like the heroes that fly, yes? Yes? Soar through air, they do. End episode, you will?
I know.
Voice only lasts so long, yes?
I know Jesse's not done because he keeps the facial structure to do this voice.
Mean you what would I do?
See? He still got it. The second he drops
I
that
just
physical.
end this already. Save me from myself. I won't
Okay.
stop.
All right,
I
we're
can't
out.
stop.
All right,
I
we're
keep
out.
going.
We'll see you next week. Shang-Chi Theaters Thursday. Go see it if you want. We'll talk about it next week. Bye.